find when you clear out these crevices. But that is a nice point. Now this point is a lot bigger, and this is an actual Maritime Archaic point, between 8,000 and 3,000 years old. A Maritime Archaic spear point. That is the difference between the Maritime Archaic points and ceramic points. That's actually a real nice find. Yeah, they had these edges actually quite sharp, but over time these things get beat around and they lose their edge. But that's still a beautiful find. I think I'm going to work that little file right there. Yeah, during the time this was in use, caribou was a major game animal. They had the harpoon heads for the swordfish, and they had their techniques for going after saltwater fish, but when it came to hunting inland, these were their points because they had caribou herds to hunt. Yeah, to picture their land, between 8 and 5,000 years ago, this was mostly tundra. And there was a lot of caribou herds that lived off that tundra. And of course there was moose as well that lived on the aquatic plants. But the hardwood trees didn't start developing until around 3000 BP. The climate warmed and new tree species began popping up, like the poplar, the birch, the oak, the maple, and it wasn't until around 3000 BP that the bow came into use. But still, that is a nice spear point. I'm going to save that as a donation for the school. And continue on. I'm not sure what to make of that. Could it be an animal effigy? If it is, it had to be that of a seal or an otter. The head of a seal or an otter. Something like that. That's cool. Yeah, you have to remember when these folks, the Maritime Archaic, Susquehanna, the ceramic period, when they made their Neolithic tools, they didn't have fancy equipment like we modern people do. They had, oh, this is a nice little spot right in here. They had stone tools. They had granite drills and stuff like that. That's how they made their, yeah, it's a little sea cave, I guess, if you want to call it that. Oh, I don't see anything right off. I'm gonna maybe flip a couple of these stones around. Oh my God, I scared a fish. I'm sorry, fish. Okay. Okay, there's nothing immediately apparent in there. Alrighty then. Okay, that's enough of this. Oh, wait. I might as well just continue on. You never know. There's an arrowhead. I'll zoom in on that. Yep, that's an arrowhead. Yeah. Oh, gotta be careful in here. You see, there could be broken bottles underneath this seaweed, and that's what you have to be careful of. Oh, are you alive or dead? Hell, I might as well. Now, that little crab there, well, these green crabs were not dying off because of algae bloom or water temperature. Apparently, I learned from a very good source that when these green crabs mate, they die. So, if you're a fellow looking at this video, be glad you are not a green crab. Now let's continue on this. What is this? Rock coal. Now, that's what a crab looks like when it's being consumed by a seagull. Oh, there's a sorry little crabby. What is this? I'm gonna guess a nothing. I was really hoping to find some Neolithic art, but the fact that I found a couple of spare points, that's Neolithic art in itself. there's your risk. If you were running through this seaweed and you didn't break your neck falling over a rock, you could run into that. And if that's turned up the right way, it's going to cut your boot and foot. Well, here we are, edge of the sea. The tide's still going out. I still can't forget that day I came down and I found that carved stone face just as the tide was coming in. If I had been 15 minutes later, that area would have been underwater. I never would have found that Neolithic art at all. So I'm glad I came down. And here's another one. Seal. Yeah. Okay, so that's two seal heads. These are shale. They're in the shape of seal heads. So obviously someone who hunted seals had to have something to do with these two seal heads. That's quite unique. So I did find my artwork. Well, I can't complain. It's not as dramatic as that face effigy, but it's still artwork. Oh my God! There's another nice point. Oh, okay. I don't. I'll leave it there. I have to see what's under here. You never know. If you don't check the crevices, you're never going to find it. I mean, if there was anything there, there's another spare point. Okay. That's Maritime Archaic. Okay. I'm gonna save some battery power. As you can tell, it's kind of miserable. Well, I have a Gap jacket and stuff, but if you weren't dressed for it, you would start feeling this fog. That's probably a tug pulling a barge. Yep. Alright. If I find anything, I'll turn the camera on.